Okay, so we're going to be talking about tapping today, and but I want to start first with a little story uh, about one time when I was out visiting my daughter and my grandson. He was 2 years old at the time, and oh my gosh, I swear he was reading the manual on how to be a terrible two. And I mean, being two is very stressful. You can ask any toddler that. Well, that evening when I was tucking him into bed, I showed him an app that was on my watch, and it was a 1 minute of slow, deep breathing. Well, he thought this was the coolest thing, and he did his very best to inhale as he watched the circle get bigger and bigger, and exhale and watch the circle get smaller and smaller. And we did this every night while I was there. It was several weeks later, I was talking with my daughter, and she said, you know, Mom, he's still doing that. She goes, it's so cute. I tuck him in and he puts his little hands on my face and he says, let's breathe, Mommy. Well, I have to laugh because he says that to me now, but it's usually when I start to raise my voice. Nana, you need to breathe. So the events, as most of you know, for the last 6 months have been much more traumatic. But one of the things that I've really noticed with Aiden is that when he's trying to process this in his little way, he's 4 years old now, it typically comes out with frustration or anger. And, you know, there's been night terrors and things like that. He really is the sweetest little boy. But when he gets started, I've been noticing lately that he starts deep breathing on his own, and quite forcefully, like, because he's mad, but he's doing it. And I commented recently on this, that he's using it to slow down his breaths, to calm his stress. Well, stress underlines every day for us. It's our condition, our outlook, it affects our attitude, and it affects our health. And you can gather from Aiden's story that stress starts at a young age. Arguably, it starts at birth when we have innate mechanisms to calm ourselves. But as we mature, we find we need more strategies to deal with everyday and acute stresses. Deep breathing, mindfulness, meditation, even yoga are a few of the more common suggestions. So, let's see how techie I am today. Ha.
Okay, you are going a little fast, so try and slow down, okay?
Okay. So today we are looking at another strategy to calm our stress, and as a result, lower our pain levels. So today it's going to be an introduction to tapping. It's officially known, sorry about that. It's officially known as EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. So a few years ago, I came across an app called the Tapping Solution. I'm sure some of you will know of it. I tried it a few times and I thought, wow, kind of weird, but there may be something beneficial to this. It brings together the other strategies that we support, such as like the deep breathing, the mindfulness and meditation that I had mentioned earlier. It works with the mind-body connection that we often refer to in our presentations when it comes to understanding pain. So I brought it up to Linda last fall as a topic for a CNA presentation, hoping that it would get me doing it more. And well, it just happens that the World Tapping Summit was held last month. And what I learned has been very enlightening for me, and I'm on board with this strategy and I want to share it with you. So before I do that, I have to do the legal disclaimer here, and I'll just rattle this off. So while great care has been taken in organizing and presenting the material, please note that it is provided for informational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. The statements have not been evaluated by Health Canada. The products mentioned are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness. Okay, so what is tapping? Tapping is a fusion of the Eastern and Western medicine. It uses the ancient Chinese acupressure points along the meridians combined with psychology that we use today. It addresses both the emotional and physical aspects of pain. And it builds on the mindfulness and meditation with the addition of a touch. And that's key to have that crossover to the mind-body integration. So it was in the early 80s, Dr. Roger Callahan, he was a clinical psychologist, and he was the one that introduced thought field therapy. It was further explored and it was refined by one of his students, Gary Craig, in the 90s, and it became known as EFT, Emotional Freedom Tapping.
Sylvia,
Yes?
do you have a presentation that you should be showing?
Is it not coming through? It's on my screen.
No.
No.
It's all up on my screen.
Okay. Try and share it again.
Okay. It's up again. Is it working?
No, I'm not seeing you. I'm going to make you the host.
Tapping on it.
That should help, I hope. Let's see, I got to find you first.
Okay, let me try something else. There we go.
There we are. Yep. Okay, so yeah, just hit
That's in at the
the one you're on, and yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that. Not as techy as I'd like to be. So we've talked about what it is, and now we're going to just talk about what it's for. And basically, you can tap and help for anything that you really need. As I was saying, it was developed in the 80s and 90s. And as of today, thousands of psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, coaches, and individuals have put into practice this technique for a variety of reasons. It has been proven to be effective for chronic pain, stress, anxiety. As you can see, I guess not everybody's somewhere on the phone. So sleep, it's been used for confidence, for addictions, sport performance, phobias, PTSD, weight loss, wealth and abundance. Basically, anything you want to work on, you can tap on. They even talk about the beneficial, like, boosting, like even if you just want a little boost of energy, that day, or self-esteem, or preparing for a presentation, you can tap on any of these. But as soon as I hear proven and I want to know what the research is. And for years, there was very little information, very few formal studies of the effectiveness of it. However, in recent years, there's been a real surge. Once they started having the trials using MRIs, that you could see the actual changes in the brain. And there's been other physical evidence to support all the anecdotal testimonies. In 2019, for example, there was a study of 203 participants, showed a substantial decrease in a variety of markers, being the physical changes after using tapping. They looked at the heart rate and the variability. They looked at the blood pressure. From the endocrine system, they measured cortisol levels. From the immune system, they took immunoglobulin A samples, and they also looked at the psychological symptoms. So a little bit about cortisol, because it came up a lot in what I was reading.
So Sylvia, you're scratching your papers against the microphone somehow.
Okay. So what happened with the cortisol, has a positive role, and we need to remember that. We need to understand that it does help with blood sugar levels. It helps with our regulating our metabolism. It reduces inflammation. It helps with memory. It has a significant good role. However, cortisol is also known as one of the stress hormones. It's connected to the stress response, which is the fear, the fight response. So when you're living with consistently high levels of stress, the cortisol goes up high, and it has a tremendous negative effect on our bodies. So getting back to that study, what it was showing was these are remarkable, significant changes. The cortisol levels decreased by 37%. Pain was decreased by 57%. Anxiety by 41%. Depression by 35%. PTSD, 32%. Even cravings, 74%. Resting heart rate was down, blood pressure, both diastolic and systolic, were down. And they also rated some other things. There was an increase of 31% in happiness. And the immune system had a huge boost. But how long does that last? That was my next question. So it was the positive effects, but how long are they maintained for? That the study didn't explain, they just said it did, but it didn't say how. So I found another study. It was over 11 clinics over a 5.5-year period, and it showed that a year later, the improvements were maintained by 78% of the participants that used EFT tapping. And that was compared to 69% of patients that were having cognitive behavioral therapy.
Sylvia, we have a question from Sam.
Yes.
Can you explain what tapping is so that people can relate to what you're talking about?
I have that, but I want it to be right before we start because it leads us into that. So this is just a bit of history and background, and then we'll get into the points.
Okay.
So the tapping research, and again, maybe that's my bias with my education and whatnot, but it's important to understand, for me anyways, that there's over 200 clinical trials now that are in peer-reviewed journals, and EFT is now considered an evidence-based practice. There was a study, this is particular to pain now, tapping for pain studies, and the largest were in over 25,000, almost 26,000 people, 15 primary care centers, 14 countries, 5 continents. And I mention all that because I want you to get the feel for that this has been a global effort to establish the benefits of tapping. So in this study, they found a significant association between depression and somatic symptoms. Those are the ones relating to the body, like pain. They found that in 69% of the people. I saw another study that Dr. Mercolas that said 85% or approximately of all physical illnesses have an emotional connection to them. And we know from the symptom cycle that emotions, depressions, anxiety, etc., they all affect our pain levels. So EFT tapping, it's shown to release negative emotional blocks that are locked in our unconscious mind, which then allow the release of physical pain within the body. Tapping is also known to send calming signals directly to the amygdala. And that is where the emotions and behaviors are processed. And it's also where that fear, fight, flight response is held. So tapping also releases endorphins, which help to alleviate pain. And we know from previous speakers that there's a connection of pain and emotion. And we've also learned that pain is in the brain. And I put down Dr. Lorimer Mosley there because he has extensive research on it. He's probably the world's foremost on working with pain in the brain. And it gives us a better understanding. His work has allowed us to see how tapping can release these emotions and reduce and even alleviate pain. Tapping allows the body to get to that place where it can actually do its own healing. It is well established that stimulation of the meridian points can help with the rewiring of the brain, known as neuroplasticity. It's also been shown to soothe the autonomic and vagal nervous systems. It allows us to shift our unconscious beliefs and emotions and chemicals are being released that help to bring us back into balance. Now, this World Summit was put on by the Tapping Solution Foundation, and I just want to say just a minute for this, that they are working with these shootings from the Sandy Hook Elementary School, the Newton School, and the people that were impacted by the Parkland shootings. They are going out, they're helping children deal with cancer in Mexico. They're working with genocide victims in Rwanda and teaching tapping to children living in severe poverty in Guatemala. And they also work with the Veterans Stress Project for PTSD and the Children's Empowerment Project. So tapping is being widely used more and more. Tapping is simple. It is a self-help strategy. It is can be done anywhere, anytime. I literally, when I had my cataract surgery a few weeks ago or a month ago, I ended up in Emerge with some complications, and I was tapping in my little room while I was waiting to go to the eye clinic. And a doctor came by, took a second look, nodded, big smile, and carried on. And I thought, yeah, you really can do this anywhere. It can be learned by anyone. As I mentioned, there's actually, I didn't mention it earlier, but there's even tapping for children, which I've been doing with Aiden lately. And he's being drawn to it. It's good. There's no cost to tapping, and often it's less time consuming than many other strategies. There's even an app that's free to download, and it has a lot of free guided sessions. So let's get into Sam's question of what is tapping? Tapping is done on 9 meridian points on the body with a focus on the issue that you wish to alleviate. And it also has attention to the body and the breath. So the tapping points themselves are, there's the side of the hand just below the baby finger. They call it the karate chop. The eyebrow point, which is the beginning of the eyebrow. So like this, on the side of the eye, under the nose, under the mouth, in the crease, just above the chin, on the collarbone. So with the collarbone, find the bones that are sticking out, and then just go down about 1 inch to the soft part. And then there's tapping under the arm, and it's about a hand width down. For ladies, it's right on the bra line, and then on top of the head. There's steps to doing tapping. Is first you have to identify your issue, and then you rate the intensity. So if we're talking about pain, what part of the body? Gee, the pain in my knee right today is just off, it's terrible. Out of 0 to 10, you would give it a score, 0 being no pain and 10 being excruciating. And then when you start the tapping, you start with a setup statement, which is typically negative, like I have this pain, it's frustrating, that type of thing. And then you end that with an affirming statement, acceptance. People often ask, well, why does it have to have that negativity to begin with? And Nick Ortner was doing an interview, and Louise Hay said, well, if you want to clean your house, you have to see the dirt. I thought that was a nice analogy. So let's get trying it together. So this guided session is on neuropathic pain. I'm doing it verbatim from the app, from the Tapping Solution. And some guided tappings are as little as 5 minutes, 10, 15, even longer. So I just wanted to let you know that that's what we're going to do. So follow along. You can still see me, right?
Did you want to stop showing so you become big?
Yeah, I'm just going to do the stop share for that.
Okay, and so for everyone on your window, on your screen, if you're not already, in the top right corner, there's a little button for view. If you float over and then click view, you'll have gallery view or speaker view. Put it on speaker view, And then the person who is actually talking will be much bigger, and everybody else will be little people up at the top or on the side. And that'll help you be able to see what Sylvia's doing a little bit better.
Okay, so we're going to start by just taking a gentle breath in and let it out. We're going to start tapping, just gentle taps on the side of the hand. You can close your eyes. Some people find it much easier to get more focused on this, to be more immersed in it. And then we're going to start with that negative, which I like to refer to it as the truth of how we feel. So I want you to repeat after me, either out loud or in your head. Even though I feel this pain in my, fill in the blank there, and then repeat, I choose to relax now. Even though my nerves are causing me pain and it just won't go away, I give myself permission to relax. Even though I'm frustrated with my body and this pain, I accept myself and how I feel. Okay, we're going to move to the eyebrow point.
Take your glasses off if you have any.
And you can use one hand, you can use two. It doesn't matter which side you do it on. So again, repeat either out loud or to yourself. This pain, side of the eye, this pain from my nerves, under the eye, it feels so uncomfortable. Under the nose, and it feels stuck. Under the lip, and that is frustrating. Just below the collarbone, I acknowledge this pain and how it's making me feel. Under the arm, and all the stress around this pain. Top of the head, and with all these feelings, back to the eyebrow. I choose to relax. Side of the eye, it is safe for me to acknowledge this pain. Under the eye, and to begin to let it go. Under the nose, it's safe for me to acknowledge all this stress. Under the mouth, in my body and my life. Collarbone, I'm not sure why my body isn't healing. Under the arm, but I'm open to healing now. Top of the head, feeling safe and relaxed in my body. Back to the eyebrow. I want you to tap gently while I ask a few questions. Just answer them in your mind. There's no right, no wrong, no perfect answer. Just keep tapping and trust the process of letting go to the stress and potentially the pain to go with it. Put your attention on your pain and ask yourself if there was an emotion in this part of my body, what would it be? Anger, sadness, grief, rage, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed? Notice what comes up and be present to it. If there was an emotion to this part of my body where I have the pain, what would it be? Side of the eye? Let's ask that question again and be attuned to whatever comes up. If there was an emotion to this part of my body, what would it be? Under the eye? Does pain have a color, a shape, or a memory associated with it? Just notice what comes up. Under the nose? Do you remember when you first started experiencing this pain? What was going on in your life at that time? When did this pain start? If there was something else going on in your life at the time that might have been causing tension or stress, think about it now. Under the mouth, tapping gently, breathing gently. Feel into wherever the pain is the strongest. See if the pain is shifting or is it changed. Be aware of what feels different. Sometimes with tapping, the pain will shift or even move to a different location as the body begins to unwind and heal. Onto the collarbone, feeling strong, present, safe and grounded in your body. Ask, what is my body trying to tell me with this pain? What do I need to do to help my body heal? Let your intuition guide you. As we tap, we often unlock resources and ideas within that we didn't know we had. So you might be inspired to make a tangible change in your life that can help your body heal. So ask again, what is this pain trying to tell me? And how can I allow my body to heal? Top of the head, feeling strong, safe, and grounded in your body. Back to the eyebrow. As we tap, we relax and we set in motion our body's healing mechanism. Side of the eye. With every moment that we make a conscious choice to feel good, to let go, to release stress from our bodies and our lives, each of those moments amplify the healing. Under the eye. So the question for you is, what can you do to amplify those moments in your life? What can you do to support your body's natural healing process? Under the nose. And remember, it's often not only one thing that brings us the best results. Under the mouth. It's when we stack things together, when we take physical actions like exercising, walking, moving, collarbone. When we take biological actions like what your doctor recommends, the right supplements and nutritional support for you. When we take emotional actions like expressing how we feel, acknowledging any buried anger, rage, resentment, or grief, and letting it go. releasing pain from the past, fear about the future. As we stack things together, we give our bodies the ability to heal. Under the arm. So begin to imagine now. Consider that possibility that you can heal, alleviate, reduce this neuropathic pain. Top of the head. Are you ready for this pain to go away? Are you ready for your body to heal? Make that choice now. Make that commitment. Last round, the eyebrow. Feeling safe, strong, and grounded in your body. Imagine your body healing now. Side of the eye. Imagine your life healing now. The positive choices and decisions you'll make towards healing this pain. Under the eye. Let go now of the years of pent-up stress. You deserve to be free. Under the nose. As you free yourself from the past, you release anxiety about the future and allows your body to heal. Feel that right now. Under the mouth. You have set in motion your body's extraordinary healing powers, feeling so safe, so strong, so confident. Collarbone. And just know that the more you come back to this state, expansive, safe, confident, joyful, the more your body will heal. You are healing right now. Under the arm, tapping gently still, breathing easily. Repeat, all is well. Top of the head, feeling safe and grounded now. I want you to stop tapping. Take another grounding breath in and let it go. And how do you feel now? Check in on your pain that you were feeling and see if there's been a shift. If you have a new number on your scale of 0 to 10, any shift downwards in your number means that you are moving in the right direction. If your number is still higher than you would like it to be, then you can try repeating the tapping right away or just do it again later. But in these few minutes of tapping, you've lowered your cortisol and your other stress hormones in your body. You've created a sense of calm and ease. And from this place, you can relax more. You can trust your body and open up to the feeling better and better. Okay, is the screen sharing working?
Yes.
Okay, because my buttons aren't letting me shift to the next slide. Anyways, the next slide says, what is next? And what I ask is that you be open to the benefits of tapping, that you try it and you keep it handy, one of those strategies, one of those tools in your toolbox, that you maybe even take time to explore it a little bit more yourself. There's a lot of resources out there. They're on the last slide. Sorry.
Sylvia, why don't you try stopping the
Stop and start again.
and the PowerPoint, and then starting it back up again.
Yeah. Anyways, the resources that I had, there was the Tapping Solution is probably one of the biggest foundations out there. They put on the World Tapping Summit. There's EFT Universe. There's a lot of work by Dawson Church on that site. And there's like free mini manuals that you can download. And there's a lot of free information out there and tapping that you can try. The other one was Recovery Village, and the tapping that they do for things like addictions, for alcoholism, smoking, for PTSD, that type of thing. So there was a lot of good information on that site as well. And I just hope that you try it. I hope that we can get some feedback on how you felt with that, if you felt any changes. And I want to thank you for being part of this experience today.
So we had a question from Margot. How long is recommended for the daily tapping? Oh, you disappeared. For daily tapping each time, how many times, that kind of stuff?
If you're doing a guided tapping, like I say, they're anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. Some are even longer, but most of them around that 5, 10, 15 mark. If you're doing it and doing your own talks, and they suggest that if you're doing it yourself, you just talk out loud. You know, gee, I'm frustrated today. I can't believe this PowerPoint didn't work right to the end. But it's okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. So that would be your opening statement. And then you do that 3 times. You say that opening statement 3 times. Then you move on to the other parts. You go to the eyebrow, to the side, and have your piece. Even if you just did 1 round. I even saw one speaker talked about if all you have time to do is a little bit of hand tapping, then go to the collarbone. Even if that's all you do. So you could do it as little as, 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. If you've got something going on that you just need a little boost right now. I was doing this, I was just getting started to do this presentation. I thought I really got to start learning about it and trying it and whatnot. And Aiden was just really acting up and I was getting really mad. And he was in his room and I went to mine and I started tapping and I found one on anger and I was like, I am so angry right now. But I accepted myself and as it went through, it was working. I was calming down, but the cutest little thing is Aiden came in and he says, I'm sorry, Nana. And he started tapping and he just took to it right away. So I hope you guys will try it. And I'd love to have your feedback on if you felt anything through that.
I wanted to say, especially for people who are new, like to the association or to kind of what we do, if I know for me, for years, I thought meditation and all of this kind of stuff was totally too woo-woo for me, and I would never believe in it or anything. But I started doing it because of a book actually that Sylvia lent me, and then did some research into it. And as part of our presentation that we give out in the community, I have pictures of brain scans showing somebody who's in pain and what their brain looks like, and then somebody after, I think it was 8 weeks of meditation, and the difference of them in pain then. And it's those, for me, I'm like Sylvia, I need to see the proof. Like, come on, this stuff really. But when you see the proof and you hear people talking about what a difference it can make for them, especially the brain scans, that's kind of what does it for me. I can say that it really can help. But if you're not ready for that kind of thing yet, tuck that away for the future and talk to us about what other stuff might be a more immediate help, because obviously this is something that takes a lot of practice. It's long term. It's you know, I've been meditating now for a couple of years, and I still struggle to do it, but I do find I'm much better when I do.